everyone, so I'm here today to talk to you about what to do when you fall off the wagon and why that happens. So it feels like not a week goes by where I don't get an email from someone who is either a client or not a client, who is freaking out because they have fallen off the wagon, or they have eaten something they shouldn't have, or they're in some sort of downward spiral, and things just aren't going according to plan. So I thought it would be really helpful, hopefully for everyone, to talk about this and talk about why this happens and what you can do to get back on the wagon. So first of all, if you're watching, then please say hello. Please give me a like, that helps other people in the group to see this content. And let me know if you've got any questions as we go through, or if you relate to anything that I'm saying, or if you've got anything to add, if you've got any strategies to add as well. So the first thing that I tell my clients when they send me a message saying, oh my God, I've had a terrible weekend, I've fallen off the wagon, the first thing I tell them is that they are human, and that is completely normal, and that it's okay, and it doesn't mean that you've ruined your progress or that you've wasted your efforts. It's okay, it's normal, it's human. And what I also tell them is that they just need to get over it, they just need to put it behind them, and they need to move on. So what a lot of my clients seem to do is just keep beating themselves up about it and worrying about it and going over it and ruminating. But what they just need to do is they just need to leave it behind and move on. So that is the best thing that you can do for yourself. If you've found yourself in this situation where you've fallen off the wagon, just leave it behind and start thinking forward about what you can be doing next. So first of all, if you are feeling like you've fallen off the wagon, or if you found yourself in this situation before where you've fallen off the wagon, then you're in the wrong mentality, and it means that you're in this dieting mentality, and that what you're doing feels like more of a diet than a lifestyle change. So if you feel like, oh, you know, I've fallen off plan, I've fallen off the wagon, then you're in this dieting mentality that just isn't a healthy mentality to be in, because it's a very temporary mentality. So I encourage you to take a look at the way you're going about things, because if you find yourself feeling like you've fallen off the wagon, then you're not thinking long term, you're thinking short term, and you've probably set yourself some fairly short term goals, which is good, but you also need to set long term goals as well. So try to avoid thinking about what you're doing as a diet and consider it to be a lifestyle change, because the only way you're going to see lasting success is if you make changes that are going to stick in the long term. So stop making changes that are going to just be, you know, for the next few weeks or the next few months or until your holiday or until Christmas or whatever. Think about making changes that are going to be there forever, and then hopefully that will help to stop you feel like you're dieting. Think about these things as a lifestyle change. So I want to share with you a strategy or a 3-step process that you can use to help you to get back onto the wagon when you feel like you've fallen off. So the first thing to do is to make a plan. So after you've forgotten about everything and you put it behind you and you stopped worrying about the fact that you've fallen off the wagon, the first thing to do is to make some sort of plan. Write something down. So what I want you to do is notice the difference between saying, okay, I'm going to make myself such and such meal for dinner, or tomorrow I'm going to get back on the wagon, I'm going to do such and such, compared to writing down in your diary, go and buy X, Y, and Z for such and such a meal. So the difference is actually putting it down in writing and making a plan that you're going to stick to, rather than just thinking to yourself, okay, well, at the next meal I'm going to do such and such. So write something down, get it in the diary, and then that way it's going to hold you accountable, and it's going to make you a little bit more likely to actually implement that and get back on track. It's setting you a proper start date. Number 2 is to make your goal small, or to make your plan small. So if you are, say, you're going to plan to get started tomorrow, get back on track tomorrow, and one plan you could make might be to plan out all of your meals for the week, or it might be to prep all of your meals for the week. So compare that to tomorrow, I'm going to have eggs for breakfast. So the difference is that one goal, the second goal, is much smaller and much more achievable. So often the resistance to getting back on the wagon can feel like it's a huge effort. And so what you want to do is reduce the resistance as much as possible. So if you make yourself a small, achievable goal, it's going to be much easier to get back on track. So say to yourself, okay, for my next meal or for breakfast tomorrow, I'm going to have eggs. And that's your first step to getting back on track, rather than setting yourself a massive goal of prepping all of your food for the week, for example. So number 1 is to make the plan, but number 2 is to make that plan small and achievable, or to make the goal small and achievable. Number 3 is to take imperfect action. So one of the things that a lot of my clients do is they obsess over getting it absolutely perfect, absolutely right, that their meal is perfectly proportioned, that they're eating at exactly the right time, that they're getting all of their vegetables, and it can just be a bit overwhelming, and again, it's resistance to actually taking action. So imperfect action might be that for breakfast, again, let's say you have eggs for breakfast, but the perfect option might be to have eggs with avocado and tomato or something like that. But the imperfect action might be just to have breakfast, or just to have eggs, or something like that. So don't obsess about things being absolutely perfect. Just take some action. And my motto is it 7 out of 10 good enough? So, if you're going to rate a meal out of 10, is it 7 out of 10 good enough according to whatever plan you're following, or whatever it is you're trying to achieve? So the key is just to take some action, whether it is perfect or not. So they're the 3 tips, or the 3 steps to get back on track. Number 1 is make a plan, number 2 is to make it small and achievable, and number 3 is to take imperfect action, and don't let taking action be a barrier for you. So one of the reasons why we might fall off the wagon is, as I mentioned at first, this dieting mentality that we often have, and not thinking about lifestyle changes and actually putting an expiration date on your diet or on this change can be the issue. But the other thing is often setting unachievable goals. So again, if you are expecting yourself to be perfect and to never ever eat anything that's off plan, then you are setting yourself up to fail, because you are human. And even if you've got all the willpower in the world, life conspires against you, and there are social gatherings, there's birthdays, there are times when you just don't have the time, or maybe you something comes up last minute and you just didn't get time to cook that meal that you thought you were going to cook, and you had to go for something that wasn't quite perfect. So expecting yourself to be perfect is setting yourself up for failure, and you need to be just a lot nicer to yourself, and stop telling yourself that you failed every time you don't manage to eat that perfect meal, or you don't manage to stick to things 100%. A good guide is to have sort of good healthy meals 80% of the time, and then 20% of the time if you end up indulging, then that's a fairly good balance in the long run. You might need to be a bit stricter than that at first when you're trying to lose weight. In the long run, the 80-20 rule is actually quite a healthy balance to stick to. Try to not be too harsh on yourself, and just when you make a mistake, just forget about it, carry on. And in fact, using the word mistake is the wrong word for me to use, because it's not a mistake, you are just human. So just continue, be nice to yourself, and honestly, it does make life so much easier. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed what you saw today, then make sure you hit subscribe to keep seeing these videos. And you might also like my free 7-day meal plan. Lots of my clients tell me that they just feel like they could really do with following a meal plan and just seeing what a normal healthy diet looks like for a week. So that's what I've done. I've put together 7 breakfasts, lunches and dinners just to help guide you and give you some ideas and inspiration, and so that you can see what a healthy diet looks like. So that's linked below. Make sure you get that. It's completely free. I've had so much good feedback about it, so don't miss out. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you all real soon. Bye.